What's good? Welcome back to Trashman MMA, where today we are going over the main event for UFC Abu Dhabi, Saudi Arabia Fight Night, Robert Whittaker versus Rainer the Ridder. I'm extremely hyped up for this card. I did call out of work for this. I am excited. This is my first time calling out of a job for like 3 years, so I'm super hyped. I hope you guys are hyped as well. And if you are, which you are because you clicked on this video, uh, leave a like, leave a thumbs up. Let me know if you fucked with the video. This one's going to be a little bit shorter. At least I'm going to try to get a little bit shorter. So let me know if you like these lengths of videos better than the hour-long ones. I know some of y'all, y'all get 30 seconds in and click off. All right, I see y'all. I see y'all on the fucking, engagement. But whatever. Robert Whittaker versus RDR. I'm hyped for this card. A little sad that Movsar Evloev versus Aaron Pico got canceled, though. I'm not gonna lie. But without further ado, let's get into it. At first, we will go over the archetype of each fighter, and then I'll get into who I think is gonna win this matchup and why. So the first fighter we're gonna break down is Robert Whittaker. I have a list of his pros and cons here if you look on the screen. We'll start off with his pros and then we'll move on to his cons. Stop screaming at me, man, and we'll address everything shortly. But I have a list of 4 pros for him and 4 cons. We'll start off with the pros. Starting off, slick 1-2s. And when I mean slick, I mean you ain't never seen something like it. The way he can dart in and out, which also coincides with his second pro, a lightning fast blitz. That's Robert Whittaker's specialty, that darting in and out blitz. 1-2, 1-2. He's in, he's out. He's back in, 1-2 again. He lights you up a lot. Another thing, his range management. If you look in his fight with Paulo Costa, you can see that he's slipping and, dude, he's slipping and weaving and dodging all these shots by the skin of his teeth. The skin of his teeth, which we'll get into that also a little bit later. If you see it, you see it. But really good range management. And head movement. That's another staple of Robert Whittaker's style. I know this is fairly rudimentary, but I mean, when I only really watched his last 3 fights because I'm not gonna really dive deeper in that before, the Paulo Costa fight. Who is he fighting? Marvin Vettori? You know what I'm saying? Fucking Israel. So that's a little too far back for me personally. But these are all things that I think he can utilize against the somewhat lanky, awkward RDR, who's he just kind of looks goofy out there, He just kind of looks dumb. But these are kind of the staples of Robert Whittaker. I believe he'll be able to really use this blitz to cut off RDR, stop him in his tracks. RDR likes to march forward. I think if he's able to use lateral movement like a Max Holloway, he'll be able to really keep him at bay, not allow him to get in too close. But even then, I think it'll be a little hard as he has that very wide stance, and we'll get into the cons right now. He has a very wide stance, which is it makes it very hard to move laterally. A stance like that, it really is in and out, in and out. It's not side to side. It's not let me cut off the cage. It's not let me use footwork to get off the fence, push him against the fence. Now I have the center of the octagon. It's not really like that. It's more of it's a heavy karate style, no cage. We're not really running around. We're just darting in and out on my own pace. Whereas something like that I can't see working too well against a RDR who's a very march forward heavy type of fighter, but it could be done if paired with the proper game plan. So I think that's a con for Robert Whittaker. He has an extremely wide stance, which could allow him to be easily taken down with a single leg, perhaps a double leg. Not really a double leg, but more so a single leg or a press up against the fence and, kind of out-gridded to the ground like he was against Khamzat Chimaev. But another con that I have noticed, which people might get mad at, He's kind of a range warrior. You know what I mean? He's kind of a, I'ma just stare at you. I'ma just stare at you for 30 seconds. Watch the Paulo Costa fight. I know you're raging right now, dude. Watch the Paulo Costa fight. Look at him. Look at him hit a left hook, a left straight left hook, and out. Bro doesn't do anything for the next 20 seconds, dude. It happens so many times where he's just so inactive, staring at you at range, waiting for you to go, waiting for you to throw something so he can throw back. He's a very counter heavy person, even though, well, not even though, but he's a very counter heavy fighter. He doesn't really start the engagements all too much. At least he wasn't against Paulo Costa. Maybe he was scared of the power of Paulo Costa because of what happened in the first round, because this really was primarily the second and third where he became this type of sit back and watch type of fighter. Maybe it was that spinning wheel kick that he got caught with at the end of the first. But he has very simple striking as well. And when I say simple, it's effective. It's simple but effective. But it is really 1-2. Left jab, left hook, low kick. Okay, let me not do anything for 20 seconds. Okay, dart in jab. Okay, let me come back out and not do anything for the next 20 seconds. Okay, 1-2, 1-2. All right, let me dart out. Dart in, 1-2, dart out. It's very simple. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not trying to be mean here, but it is very Marvin Vettori-esque, except he's actually slick with it. He's fast. He has the movement. He has the in and out footwork. So he's able to do more than Marvin Vettori with it. Where Marvin Vettori is a very ploddy, heavy feet, balls of the feet on the canvas. Where Robert Whittaker, he's on his toes, light on his feet, jab. You know what I'm saying? Marvin Vettori is just 1-2, 1-2, 1-2. Robert Whittaker's the same, but at least he throws a low kick. At least he throws the same side high kick every once in a while, which he's kind of deviated from a little while. I think he threw it maybe once or twice against Paulo Costa. And we can't really take much from the damn, what's that? I always forget this kid's name, man. Ikram Alaskarov. I always forget that guy's name. We can't really take anything from the Ikram fight. He was an unranked guy with 2 fights in the UFC. Like, I'm sorry, but people think that's a really good win. I don't. I don't think Paulo Costa's a good win. I don't think Ikram's a good win. And he got smashed by Hamza. I don't really rate anything that Robert Whittaker has done in the past few years. Okay, you beat Marvin Vettori. That's good for you. But I don't really rate much of his in-cage fighting as of recently. There's been nothing to wow me. There's been no names to wow me. It's just, oh, you got slimed out by DDP. Oh, you got slimed out by Hamza. You know what I'm saying? It's like, his wins are far and few in between, and when they are in bunches, they're really unimpressive to me. So this was the overall breakdown of Robert Whittaker. We'll get into RDR next, which I have a slightly more pros and I believe relatively the same amount of cons. So let's just get straight into RDR. Insane build off rip. Insane build. He's 6'4", with a 5-inch reach advantage over Robert Whittaker. Robert Whittaker stands at 6 foot with a 73-inch reach. RDR stands at 6'4" with a 78-inch reach. Insane stature, insane stats, insane build. Very odd striking. Now, when I say odd striking, he just, like I mentioned before, he just looks goofy when he's in there. He looks very goofy. He kind of looks like he doesn't know what he's doing. But I will say he has a great jab. It may not be the most accurate, but it is like a piston out there. It's not accurate. It's like a machine gun. It's not accurate, but it's there. It's pop, 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 pop. Opposed to Robert Whittaker, who throws 1 or 2 at a time. Max 3. In RDR, he throws 4 or 5 jabs at a time. Now, granted, they don't all land, but they're there. It's something to pressure you. It pushes you back. it doesn't give you the option to go forward. He's stepping and he's jabbing at the same time to press you up against the fence. And he can eat one or two shots. He can eat, a fucking a lazy hook from Robert, who doesn't have that pop. He doesn't have really power. If I were to give anybody the power advantage here, I would really give it to RDR, who that may sound funny because he's not really of a knockout artist. He's obviously a submission guy. He has like 15 wins by way of submission. I would give him the power advantage just by his stature, his arm length. I feel like when he punches, he's punching through people, opposed to Robert, who's just making contact with the chin. He's not really going through with his shot. And I think an RDR could be able to take that shot on the chin. He has crazy top control. Crazy top control. Against, I know this doesn't mean much, but against a Kevin Holland, who is small for the division, while RDR is a fucking giant for the division, he was able to just completely stalemate Kevin Holland there. But I get it. So were a lot of other opponents able to do that. But he has good pressure. He's always kind of looking for the submission. He's not really a position guy, although sometimes he is. He was posted up on his legs and just kind of hammering shots on Kevin Holland. But he was doing the same against GM3. Just kind of being heavy. Having his presence there. Not really, there is no back and forth. And if there is, there's not a lot. He is always the one typically in control. He is there. He is the one weighing his opponent down. He has a great clinch game. And when I tell you great, I'm telling you, bro, nobody throws knees like RDR. We've seen it against Bo Nickel, and a lot of people blame Bo Nickel for going down to these knees. Dude, you're not taking knees to the fucking stomach for 8 minutes straight, bro. You could shit on Bo Nickel all you want for talking hot shit. Bro, you're not taking 2-3 knees per minute for 8 minutes straight. You're not. I don't care who you are. You're simply not. It doesn't matter how built different you are. You're not doing that. You're not. Your body will physically give out on you with those nasty knees in the clinch. Which he probably throws the most knees that I've seen in the UFC. He utilizes them so great and effectively. He also has good head movement. He's able to get out of the way of shots. Now, in a way, it is kind of silly looking. He does just back up with his he just like tucks his chin into his neck, which could be problematic for a Robert Whittaker, who darts in and will throw a jab left hook and maybe follow it up with the right overhand. But he won't do more than 2-3 shots, Robert Whittaker, He'll do that jab left hook, right overhand, and then he'll step back out, low kick. So I think an RDR will simply be able to take a step back, get out the way, and continue on with this pressure. But one thing I do have to say, which is why I think the stance of Robert Whittaker won't give him too much of an issue, but it will still be an issue there. He has really weak takedowns, or at least they look very weak. When you see him engage, when you see him go for a single leg, or you see him go for, I don't think we've really seen him go for a double leg, it just looks very brutish, It looks very non-skilled, non-technical. It's just kind of, hey, I'm 6'4" and I weigh a lot. I'm taking you down. That's what his takedowns typically look like, especially against Kevin Holland, he was just able to bully, and somewhat GM3 at times. He was kind of just able to push him over, kind of just like, oh yeah, I'm on top now. He gasses hard as well, as we've seen back in that GM3 fight. I'm gonna be referring to that GM3 fight a lot, because that's the most we've seen him in a single round fight. He gasses hard at the end of that, or after the finishing sequence in the third round against GM3, where he got a Darce without even clearing the legs. insane squeeze, insane jiu-jitsu. He has very mediocre ground and pound. Back to the GM3 fight, he's just kind of, he's throwing them, but he's not throwing them with intent. He's Leon Edwards maxing in a way, where he's just kind of putting them there so they're there. He's putting them there so that it's an extra thing to worry about, but not necessarily to take you out. He was doing the same thing against Kevin Holland. He wasn't throwing these ground and pound shots when he was, posted up, kind of tripoded up against Kevin Holland with his fucking had his legs in the air. He wasn't really throwing to finish. He was throwing to just, let me keep you busy, see when you make a mistake, and I can go in for a Darce or something. That's kind of what he's doing. I forgot what he got Kevin Holland with. I can't remember if it was a rear naked choke or a Darce. It was a rear naked choke. But slight, weak ground and pound. And from what I saw in the GM3 fight, he does look susceptible to uppercuts. I put counters. I don't know why I put counters right there. That's fucking retarded. But straights. Just stuff straight down the middle, which will be money for Robert Whittaker. Because like I said, he kind of just, when he shells up, he kind of just puts his head back into his neck. He doesn't really, when he gets pressured like that, he doesn't really move his head. He moves his head when he's going in, but not when he's getting backed up. That's when he kind of just like, Volk maxes and kind of just puts his head into his neck, kind of shoulder rolls just slightly. And that's when I think you could get him with just a straight right. And sometimes he puts his arms forward out there, where I think Robert Whittaker would be able to counter, or not counter, but take advantage with an uppercut. But Robert Whittaker, like I said, has a 5-inch disadvantage here. So I don't think he'll be able to land those uppercuts as much as somebody else would. I don't think he would be able to land those counters as effectively or as hard, because he has insane ground that he needs to cover. Let alone with the stature, but as a reach as well. This is just, I believe, something that would be too much for Robert Whittaker to overcome in the striking exchanges. So that was my breakdown of both fighters, their pros and cons, or what I believe to be their biggest pros and cons. So let's go into who I think is going to win this fight. I don't know how to really say this. I don't really know how to transition into the next slide. So I'm gonna just fucking kick the door down, or break through the wall, Kool-Aid Man style, bro. I'm gonna just fucking do it. Oh, who do I think is gonna win? I forgot I had this slide. This is such a good segue. Look, who do I think is gonna win, dude? Look at both of them there. We're busting the fucking door down. I got RDR by second round submission. RDR, like I've mentioned, he's a march forward fighter. He doesn't back up. Robert Whittaker gives so much space. He's so, like I said, he's so in and out, but he's mostly out. Once he's in and he goes back out, he doesn't throw anything for 20, 25, even 30 seconds. Probably not 30 seconds. But 10, 15, 20 seconds, he's not throwing anything after he's out. And I think that gives RDR ample time to march forward, to really feint, throw that jab 5 times. Robert Whittaker is going to throw it once or twice. Not really going to have to worry about anything coming back, RDR is. And if he does, it's going to be 1 or 2 shots with not that much sting on him that are just going to touch the chin a little bit. And as we see, RDR has a really great chin. He was getting fucking tagged by GM3. I know getting tagged by GM3 isn't what you want to hear, to say, oh my gosh, this guy's a great chin. But there were some heavy shots that he was eating. Heavy shots that GM3 was landing on RDR. And he was just eating them. Yeah, literally, they had nearly no effect on him. And I don't think RDR is a fucking Ikram Alaskarov who's going to get absolutely chinned by a jab. I think he's proven that. I think he's proven that he's better than that. I think he's going to eat those 1 or 2 shots coming his way, not having much sting on him. He's going to grab that single leg, push him, ragdoll him up against the fence. Will use this similar to Hamza Chimaev. And he's just going to use his fucking 6'4", frame. This guy's one of the biggest guys at middleweight. He truly is. He's fucking huge. I think I think Izzy's what, 6'3"? RDR takes him by not much. He's an inch, but he's about as tall as Alex Pereira, who's fucking ginormous. He's huge out there. Robert Whittaker is fucking 6 foot on a good day. You know what I mean? I think he's gonna be able to. Not he's not as athletic as a Hamza Chimaev, so I don't think he'll be able to, ragdoll him as effectively. But I think that's where his size and weight comes in, and he's able just to kind of just fucking mog him, kind of just size max against him, and bully him into submission. Where a Hamza Chimaev is a wrestle heavy, then resorting to grappling. RDR is a more so a shitty wrestler, but shit, my jiu-jitsu's through the fucking, to the fucking moon, boy. I'm gonna fucking get you up. I'm gonna kill you, dog. I'm gonna get you up out of here, man. When he goes in for the kill, he goes in for the kill. So does Hamza, but in slightly different ways. I think he's gonna be able to get it done in the second round. I do believe if it gets out of the third, if it passes the second and the third, and RDR isn't able to implement this game plan of marching forward, backing up against the fence with the jab, grabbing a single leg, taking him down, if he's not able to do that, I believe that fourth and fifth round will come down to Robert Whittaker piecing him up, using lateral movement, which I don't think he really can personally. He's more of a forward back, kind of a lineal fighter. He's not really lateral. But if he is able to move lateral with his karate stance, I think he'll be able to get it done. I think he'll be able to piece Reinier de Ridder up to the body. He won't be able to land to the head much. I think it'll be all to the body if he's getting any sort of decent shots off. Lots of low kicks, and I mean lots of them. Maybe a few teeps up the middle as well. Something up the middle just to keep him guessing. Now, not too much because I do think that'll present RDR the opportunity to grab a leg, an opportunity to close the distance. So not many, but one or two every 2 minutes. But I think RDR is just going to be able to avoid that. I think he's gonna download data in the first round. I don't think he's gonna finish him in the first round. But I think he will be able to get it done in the second and third. And if he's not, I do see Whittaker winning. Essentially, I could see Whittaker winning the first, fourth, and fifth. I really see Reinier de Ridder potentially dropping the first and winning in the second or third. So that's my prediction. I got Reinier de Ridder by second or third round sub. Hardcore locking in on a second round sub, though. I think he's got it. I think it's just physicality, stats and everything that are in favor of Reinier de Ridder. Now, we haven't seen much of him, right? He is only going up against fucking Kevin Holland, Bo Nickel, GM3. But, is Robert Whittaker really going up against anything better? Robert Whittaker's wins, Paulo Costa, Ikram Aliskerov, fucking Marvin Vettori? Like, are these really different level ranked of opponents, I get it. Kevin Holland's nothing crazy, but I mean, Kevin Holland's always game. Bo Nickel, he's good wrestling. GM3's fucking underrated as fuck. He really is. So I got Reinier de Ridder by second round submission. I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. I threw it together last minute. I'm about to make another video. I don't really know when I should drop the prediction video for this whole card. I don't know if I should drop it. Well, it's either going to drop tomorrow or Thursday. But I kind of don't want to drop it Thursday. I feel like that's really too late for a prediction video. But if you guys let me know in the comments below when you guys want that video, either tomorrow or Thursday, because I think I'm about to drop another video. See, if I make another video right now, it'll drop Wednesday. Oh, I don't know. I'll figure it out, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you very much for watching. Leave a like, drop a comment, subscribe if you're new. I appreciate you guys watching. Thank you so much. It means the most to me. It means the absolute most to me, bro. Genuinely. When I know There only be 4 or 5 views on the video. Sometimes I get a little lucky, I hit 70. But I just genuinely want to say every single one of those views means the world to me. Thank you for coming in and watching even 30 seconds of my video. It genuinely, it fucking puts the biggest smile on my face. So thank you. I appreciate it. And I'll catch y'all later. Bye.